you've been monitoring Libya for the Henry Jackson Society. What leads you to believe that Algerian troops have crossed the border into Libya?
Listen, it's been really 6 months since mostly January that special forces from France, the US, and Algeria being involved in the south. Now, the new campaign is on a much bigger scale than anything that we've seen in the past.
How do you know that Algerian troops have crossed the border into Libya?
So it's been mostly some of the reporting that has been done in the past week or so. Everything is open source. The original report that I have is both open source and confirmed by some officials.
Western officials or Algerian officials?
Western officials.
Give me an idea of how many troops are involved. How many soldiers have actually crossed the border into Libya?
As far as I can tell, if we're talking about Algerian soldiers, I believe that the 5,000 soldiers number is correct. As far as other nationalities, the numbers were very much in the low hundreds.
What other countries are we talking about?
France, the US, and that's about it. We've seen some other report from Chad, but France and the US Special Forces very much in the low hundreds maximum. And what is very interesting is that even though you have the government forcefully denying the report that came out, the Algerian army is neither confirming nor denying the issue.
Why has Algeria denied this? Is it because the Algerian constitution states that its armed forces cannot intervene in a foreign country?
It is partly for that, but also it would be also an invasion of a sovereign country. So it would be quote-unquote declaration of war. So obviously they cannot confirm that. But you can make the case that Libya has been a failed state and that there's no government, no power, and it's in the middle of a civil war, and that in order to defend themselves against AQIM and other terrorist groups such as Al-Murabitun, the Algerian forces had no choice but to step over the border.
Well, is it an invasion? How close or how far are they from the Algerian-Libyan border?
They're pretty close to the border. I mean, beforehand, it was incursions that were just in and out. They were doing operations for just a few hours or a few days and then going back home. This new one is on a much larger scale that was done before, and that's why you've seen, I think, a lot of cooperation and coordination with both the U.S. and France. Look, John Kerry, the U.S. State Secretary, was in Algeria to discuss counterterrorism issues and discuss mostly Libya. Both the French Minister of Defense and the French Foreign Minister were just in Algiers as well. They were there much more to talk about security than any contracts. So it's been going on for a while, but now the fact that the Islamists are very much in power in Tripoli has made the situation even worse. And neither Algeria nor France nor the U.S. can afford that Al-Qaeda is controlling a big, vast territory within Libya.
Has anyone in Libya given the green light to this Algerian operation?
Actually, and that's the problem that I mentioned, is that there's no one in Libya that can give the green light or the red light, because there's no real government, there's no real legitimacy from any of the groups. And the fact that you have militias running the country is basically making it a free-for-all country at this point.
Can one assume or can one think that the former General Khalifa Haftar goes along with this?
Very much so. Haftar has been, fighting the fight, and you can really draw the conclusion that obviously the West would be gladly supporting him.
What else would be important to say?
The Tunisian-Libyan border is also problematic. We haven't talked about one country that is going to be crucial in the next few months, and that's Egypt. Egypt could be doing exactly the same thing that Algeria is doing if they feel that there is danger from elements close to the Muslim Brotherhood now sheltered in Libya. So you could have, in the next few months, 5 or 6 different armies on the ground in Libya.
Well, we'll deal with them one at a time.
No problem.
Olivier Guitta, thank you for this.